I want you and everybody at home to close your eyes and tell me about what is the most important data that you have that is not currently backed up. Because there's got to be something out there that you haven't backed up yet.
It's not really. I had a DVD of my wedding pictures, and it was like in a state of rotting. Like you would put it into the disk drive, and it wouldn't load. And I was like, oh no, that's like the only copy of my wedding pictures. But eventually I did get it to load, and I quickly copied it. That's just the offhand. That was the scariest because that's like my wedding photo. Like they would like not exist because even the photographer, he passed away, so it's like I wouldn't even be able to get backups. So
yeah,
that was the scariest one. But I did end up backing it up. Although it's on a hard drive that who knows if it's working. So
that's the thing. Yeah, it's like the best thing to do is just make a lot of copies. But I ask because Max Landis, the son of John Landis, director of American Werewolf in London, Blues Brothers, Animal House, screenwriter himself, disgraced several years ago.
He wrote Chronicle, right?
He also did that one about orcs with Will Smith. Bright was the movie. He did a show called Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency in 2016. American Ultra. American Ultra is the one with Jesse Eisenberg and Kristen Stewart. If I say their names slowly, I'll remember them. And Kristen Stewart.
Hi, I'm Twilight actress Kristen Stewart. There's nothing that I hate more than bad public speaking. If you are a bad public speaker and you want to learn how to speak more good, you should buy my DVD box set.
So anyway, I follow him on Instagram because he made that wrestling isn't wrestling video. It's like one of my favorite YouTube videos. It's this dissection of the character arcs of Triple H across 25 years, passionately told and comically performed. I mentioned once he did a pitch of a Ninja Turtles movie that I thought was pretty interesting, and then he got canceled, and then he kind of came back to a much smaller audience on YouTube, and I've kind of, I've hung in there and checked them out.
He famously was on like the Red Letter Media guys reviews, a couple of them. Although he hasn't since he was canceled, but I did like he usually does those like very impassioned pitches where he gets you to go along with it, even if the pitches aren't very like you think about him later and like okay, maybe that's not that great, but when he's telling it you're buying it, so I can see why he sold a few scripts.
So all of that to say, he posts on Instagram. It was something like I just lost my laptop, which regrettably, I haven't backed up in 3 years. The work that I have lost represents 10,000 pages, multiple novels, screenplays, just all this creative work. And, given that it's all kind of post his cancellation, it seems like it's probably pretty like meaningful creative work to him. And he ended it with something like, I don't know how to process this kind of loss. And I was like, wow, that's like, I get that. I get it. I totally relate. Yeah. Like how can you lose? And of course, it's the common refrain to be like, why didn't you back that up? But we've all been there where like, for some reason that thing wasn't backed up.
Everyone says, back up your stuff, back up your stuff, back up your stuff. Of course, back up your stuff, right? Back up your stuff. I have not backed up my writing laptop in 3 years.
Yeah, didn't you almost lose having fun up there or something in a server error or something?
Yeah, not for... It's not quite as stupid as, like, you didn't back up your own movie. It was more like I was relying on a RAID array. It was a RAID 5. Right? It was a RAID 5? Yeah, I think so. It was 4 disks and, in an array. And that's all fine and well for making sure that, like, if one of the disks fails, your data's still protected. But it's not all fine and well for, like, if the volume, which is provisioned in an operating system, the file system, if that gets corrupted, the data's just as gone. So that's why you need to copy it yet again, off-site, or at least off of that RAID array. And I was able to repair it by some miracle. But we've all felt the sting of data loss. Data loss is like, and that's what's so funny about it is, nobody dies in these things. Like, it's not a car accident. It's not, Yeah. And yet, like Max was describing it. So I guess somebody actually returned his laptop to a lost and found, and somebody was able to retrieve it and get it for him. And he said that like he was elated in the way that like being reunited with a child might, like a lost child might feel like.
I had this rush of relief, unlike almost anything I've ever felt. I felt like I was been reunited with my child. I don't know what that would feel like, but that was how I became emotional and shaky.
I can't even imagine like working on a novel for that long, but I wouldn't just have like a novel sitting on a hard drive.
Yeah.
Because I work off an iCloud for all of my scripts, and I don't know if he like thinks maybe for security he doesn't want like other companies like having it. Maybe that's his idea. I have no idea. I know some people like working on laptops that don't have like internet connectivity. Sometimes I don't know, but yeah, I work off an iCloud because I never want to lose a script or anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Or, a Crash Plan, that software that you can just install right on your local computer and it'll send it to your cloud of choice. No matter where you save, it's supposed to be kind of dummy proof for somebody who's like not going to be disciplined about saving it in Google Drive, or Dropbox or whatever. But yeah, especially, he's talking about documents. He's, because with media, you're talking about large files, and it's not always easy to move those around and make lots of copies of them. But when you're talking about low file size documents, my God, like,
put it on the Dropbox. Like, just make a Dropbox. Put all of your documents in the Dropbox.
Yeah, all of your homemade porn and the docs in one place where the feds can get it.
Put all your ROMs in there.
Put all your pirated movies. Put all your cams of the latest Disney film with the interrupting Indian guy. You want to win big cash? I love that guy. Yeah, what I do for every time we do a shoot, I have two. I guess what do I buy nowadays? I think I buy 4 terabyte hard drives, and they're something like $80, and I buy 2. It's like Red Cow 1 and Red Cow 2 and Red Cow 3 and Red Cow 4. They go together in pairs, and I just copy all of the most important data to those, and I'm always very disciplined about making sure that they both have a copy, and they're both stored in my house. So if you burn down my house, that would be a problem, but it'd be a problem for all kinds of reasons. So it's not like one's in if one was in like a safety deposit box or my parents' house or something, I wouldn't be able to iterate new copies of the data onto it as easily. So, but I do that instead of buying, hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars a year in cloud storage for large media. I think that makes more, like, local drives still make more sense.
Yeah. I only use local drives. I usually have like a big drive that will fail, and then I iterate on little drives. So I work off little drives and copy to a bigger drive. I do those solid state drives. I don't know if they fail less, but they make me feel better.
I think they're less susceptible to physical damage because there's no mechanical moving parts. But they, I think that they don't. I could be wrong about this, but I think they have a lower threshold for the number of writes to them. So if you're writing to them constantly, they will eventually fail. I don't know. I don't know how true that is. So there's something about Flash media that eventually, like, you don't always want to like store like big databases on them that have tons of transactions. Maybe I'm totally wrong about that.
I know that's like my SD card. Like SD cards seem to fail all the time.
Yeah, like if you were to like constantly film onto the same SD card over and you'll eventually see a failure. But the other element to this that interested me was he said that when it went public that he lost his life, because he of course had to post it on social media. When it went public, I guess a lot of people on X were like elated that he was having misfortune, and then when he found the laptop, they were really sad that he succeeded. And he was like, it was really weird to have that experience. And he's like, it was such a like victorious feeling for all these people who want to feel schadenfreude about you, to win over them felt really good. And I was like, I think it would just make me feel double sad that like something really good happened to me and there's like a public out there that's unhappy about it. that's I don't like that juju, you know?
Yeah. I don't know, it's hard for me to cheer on anybody's misfortune, really. Who's the other guy, the Indian guy who like, it sounded like he just went on a bad date or something.
Ari something?
Ari
Shafir? No, that's another guy.
Aziz Ansari. Ansari, yeah.
Aziz, I'm sorry.
I think Ari Shafir got canceled too, didn't he?
While we're on the topic.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.